Motion denied.
Next case, case 11843, Brenneman versus the state of Pennsylvania.
Mr. Bramley, please present your defense.
On July 16th, 2012, Mrs. Brenneman was convicted of stealing an ice cream bar from a Mr. Williams. When convicted, she was sentenced to death by lethal injection. This is obviously cruel and unusual. We are not here to argue this. What I'm here to do is to uphold the Eighth Amendment and the Constitution of these great United States. It is cases like these that caused our predecessors to include the Eighth Amendment in the Bill of Rights. In the 18th century, prior to the Eighth Amendment was created, people were being put to death for stealing a loaf of bread. People realized that dying for this was wrong and the punishment should fit the crime. Miss Brenneman stole a candy bar and should not be put to death for this crime.
Will the state please present their argument?
She stole a Magnum ice cream bar. You know, the ones with the caramel and the chocolate and the girl stepping on top of the car in the commercial, which I have to say are delectable. So she should die because she did it. And in the Stanford versus Kentucky case in 1989, they had allowed the death penalty for minors who were 16 or 17 at the time of the crime.
Okay, is that it?
Yep.
Okay, so does the defense have a response?
To add, there has been multiple cases that set legal precedent. For example, in 2005, in the Roper versus Simmons case, a 17-year-old boy murdered a woman by breaking into her house, tying her up, and then throwing her off a bridge. He was convicted of the crime and sentenced to death. The case eventually went to the Supreme Court, where they made one of its most important Eighth Amendment court case rulings. Agreeing with Simmons, and the death penalty was overturned. Also, in two other cases, there's been similar rulings. In 2010 and 2012, where defendants who were minors were sentenced to life without a chance of parole. In the end, the Supreme Court deemed it against the Eighth Amendment to sentence a minor to life in prison.
Just to be clear, you're citing the Eighth Amendment, which was put into the Bill of Rights in 1791, which states that the excessive bail shall not be required, nor excessive fines imposed, nor cruel or unusual punishment inflicted. The English Parliament had a very similar law. This included no cruel or unusual punishment or excessive bail. A man named Titus Oates in England, after 1685, that on many accounts wrongly accused people of crimes and began a harsh punishment where many were executed. After being discovered, Oates was imprisoned. Although he was not killed, he had small punishments that amounted to a larger one. Later on, George Mason and Patrick Henry used Oates as a way to say that we did not need cruel or unusual punishment, and it was not what our country was built on. Soon laws like this made their way around Europe. Virginia had a very similar law in their constitution and helped propose it to the Bill of Rights in 1789.
Yes.
Has both sides shown their argument?
Yes.
So has the jury reached a decision?
Yes, in the case of Brenneman versus State, we find her guilty of stealing the Magnum bar. We do not support the death penalty description for the previous ruling.
Okay, I'm reversing the ruling of the death penalty, but she will serve 2 hours community service and pay for a new Magnum bar.
In the Bill of Rights. In the 18th century, prior to the Eighth Amendment being created, come on, I was going so good.
Stop it! He was doing so good!
Why did you stop?
Because you were
Caramel and the chocolate. With the girl that steps on top of the cars in the commercial.
Your mustache.
Go. It's filming.
He's dancing.
I don't care. Go.
All right, you're going to be able to edit this?
Yeah.
I hope you're good at editing.
Wait, what do I...
This is obviously cruel and...
Okay. Soon laws like this made their way around Europe. Hello.